gentlemen, welcome back to Over the Hill Acres. Rob here. As you can see, I got a new part on the table here. This goes to the swimming pool, and without this I cannot filter the pool. It's the valve. The old one broke, so I need to get this new one installed. So this shouldn't only take a couple minutes. Come on along and let's get it done and get that pool up and running. Well, this should be all I need to do this. Is the valve itself, the 6 screws that come out of it, a Phillips head screwdriver number 3, and my little drill driver with a 5/16 socket head on it for tightening down a couple hose clamps when I put the hoses back on. Let's go on down and see if this is the right one or if I messed up again. Next week I got to get down here and get all this grass around the pool weed-eated, and then I spray it and kill it for the summer. Okay, here's what we got. Right there, the valve goes right there on the top, and then I'll have to take that hose off of the pump, hook it back onto the side here, and switch the other one around. Right now I got it on just so the water circulates through the pool so it doesn't sit there and be stagnant. We'll get this valve put on so we can operate the filter. Unplug it, shut the power off anytime you're working on anything that has electricity and water. That's supposed to go in there just like that. So let's see here. I'm going to dip it in the water. It'll help the seals. Perfect. Nope, we want this like this though. Okay, there's a little notch right here. That's so that everything lines up the way you want it. Put these 6 screws in. Now when you tighten down something like this, it has a circular pattern. You should always go crisscross and do them evenly, get them snug, and then go back around and tighten them down again. That way you don't take the chance of cracking something and it tightens down evenly. Good. We're going to take this hose off and put it on the pump, and then take this hose and connect it back to the pump. Okay, let's see if she works. Well, replacing that valve was definitely a quick fix. I love it when a plan comes together like that. Not 100% sure it's working right, so let's go through all the steps to see. Before I could not get this to back flush because the valve wouldn't turn right. With the new valve it should work, so let's check it out. Okay, let's unplug this thing. And it's on flush right now, or filter, I'm sorry. back flush is down at the bottom. Let's put it on that. And then we'll plug it back in. And water should be coming out of this other hose really well. And it is not. There is something else wrong. Interesting. Something is plugged somewhere. I'm going to have to pull this sand pump apart. There's got to be something inside that's wrong. Story of my life. Always seems to be one problem or another. I got the valve fixed. It's still not back flushing right, but the valve works excellent. I have an idea what the problem is. We're going to have to tear into this a little more. Now underneath this valve there's a tube that goes down into the bottom with fingers that stick out, and that's what it circulates through the sand and how it filters it out. And when you put it on back flush, it blows all that water back down through there and cleans out all the stuff from the sand and sends it out this hose here to the drain. Now under this valve there's a hole that you got to put it down over the top of that pipe. The only thing I can think of is that when I put this together, that pipe kicked to the side and it did not center on that hole. So we're going to go get the tools, unhook this clamp, pull that off of there, and check that out. Okay, I'm going to get wet one way or the other here, but we want to make sure we close this valve. This keeps most of the water from coming back out of the pool. This one is still going to be live, so I'm going to have to do this quick. So I could take that off and string it up over the pool, but we're going to get so much rain tomorrow, it's not going to matter. It's going to fill the pool back up. Let's see what we can do here. It was over the top of that, so I don't know what the problem is. So, it still didn't work. Now let me tell you a little story. I'm not going to be one of those content creators that hide mistakes when I make them. When I make them, I am going to be the first to tell you if I figure it out and it was my fault. So, here we go. This hose here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says pump right there. So if we follow this hose down all the way around, that goes right back to the pool. So that means that this hose is going to the pump, which it is. This hose needs to go to the pool, and that longer hose back down here to the pump. So with that being said, one of my not so bright moments in life, let's switch them around and see if this thing actually works. let's close this valve again. Okay, let's check this out and see if it works this time. Oops, son of a gun. You always got to open this valve. That's what happens when you hurry. So let's try that again. Alright, the filter part's working good. Now let me see if the back flush works. Much better. That's what it's supposed to be doing. Ah, good grief. Well, I don't know what to say, but I hate it when that kind of stuff happens. I do laugh about it, though. There's no sense in getting upset with yourself because you missed something like that. If somebody out there tells you they never make mistakes like that, they're full of BS. That stuff happens to everybody more times than they care to admit. But I did get it figured out. It cost me $64 to figure out the hoses were on the wrong things by buying that new part. But in the long run, we were going to need that part anyways because it actually took 2 hands to turn that valve. And now you can actually push that down and turn it with 1 finger if you need to. That's the way it's supposed to work. So eventually that thing was going to break, and it was probably going to be this year. I look at it this way. The Lord watches over you every now and then, and he knew I was going to need that part eventually. So he threw a little snag into the operation in the very beginning, so I changed it before the season got going. And that's the way I choose to look at it. So I thank him for that very much, because it's done and over with, and we'll have a season free of issues with that pump, so the wife can enjoy the pool, the family, friends, grandkids. It'll be awesome. So we'll get my tools picked up here and see what else is in store for today. So now this is one of my wife's favorite little hobbies. She loves to do flowers. These things will be huge by midsummer. She spends a lot of time and money on these things. They're hanging all over the patio. She puts flowers and ferns just to break up the contrast. It's hard to see them. I'm on the wrong side here. The light's wrong. She really enjoys doing her flowers, that's for sure. And I'm glad she does it. It really makes it look nice around here. She's got a ton more tulips planted out back down around my garden and along the edge of the barn. So she makes pots like this, and then give this thing about a month and these will just be overflowing. And then she likes to do some herbs too. She's got some basil up here. Okay, I think that's it for today, folks. I've got some other things I'm going to go do and get a few more things done around here. I will talk to you soon. God bless.